For some reason, I was having a problem logging on the YouTube. So find it interesting that the YouTube-Pocalypse was announced and I was having minor issues. So why am I doing this live stream? Well, tonight I'm working, so there's no whiskey Wednesday night, though I will be doing a live stream tomorrow night. Before we get into it, how do I sound? That's more important. Hopefully you guys can see it. Let's go, Jay. Sounds good, great. All right, good, 5x5, thank you guys. All right, so for a lot of you that are unaware, YouTube today announced that they're going to pretty much go into overdrive in deleting channels for false information on the vaccine and COVID. So, and it's not even just the vaccine, it's all vaccines. So whether you have a stance against, let's say, the polio vaccine, they're going to delete your channel, right? So this is just a very interesting place to be in right now with the whole YouTube-Pocalypse going on. So a lot of channels, guys, are going to be getting deleted. A lot of videos are going to be getting deleted. So we'll see what happens with this channel. Though, with this channel, guys, I've been walking the line. So let's see what side of the line they think I'm on. Yeah, so M Hammer, right, they're channels that are getting strikes for reading what the CDC says. People are getting strikes from reading things from the FDA or the Pfizer company. So people are getting deleted just for about anything. Now, a lot of us have known about this YouTube-Pocalypse going on, but now they're talking about all vaccines. So for a lot of us that are still up, they most likely won't be tackling us, but there are other channels, guys, who talked about other vaccines, for example, causing autism and things like that. Those channels might be done, or at least they might lose a lot of videos. But we shall see where this goes. So, I mean, guys, listen, sorry about that. Like I said, they're going into overdrive's fucking insane right now. And they are making it a bigger issue than it has to be. And this is YouTube. You know, I don't know what else to say behind it other than they are doing everything in their power to make sure whatever real information gets out about COVID does it. Now, they did say you can talk about your experience with the vaccine and your experience with having COVID. But sooner or later, guys, they're going to hit that topic or subject soon and start controlling that. So now big tech is absolutely starting to control what we see, what we hear, and how we hear it. Because apparently all they want to do is advocate for a good vaccine, but they don't want to sit there and talk about the negative side effects. But the only people who could talk about the negative side effects are the people who experienced it. So, example, I can't talk about negative side effects of COVID because I never really experienced it, or the vaccine because I don't have it. So guys, they're trying to figure out what these kids are doing. They're all just standing there, I guess, waiting to run down this hill. Which, listen, guys, if they run down this hill at full speed, somebody's definitely going to bite it. What if you take down what you're going to do? Grace, so I'm keeping up what I'm going to keep up. I'm not taking anything down. I'll let them take it down, right? So I'm not going to sit there. I'm not going to sit there and start deleting shit just because I'm scared of what they might do. My, what you call to YouTube, so they can go fuck themselves. If they take this channel down, guys, I will start a new one. That's simple. Well, it seems like the teacher's making a long-ass speech. I was going to wait for them to all fall down or roll down this hill, but that's not happening. The teacher's giving them some long-ass, boring, liberal speech. So, whatever. It would be good action footage for the YouTube channel to watch some of these kids bust their ass, but like I said, it ain't happening. But I still have hope. Gene, I'm at St. Nicholas Park, I guess, right? I'm on 135th Street, so if you could see, well, you can't, but you see past those trees straight down there, that's 135th Street, and that's St. Nicholas, the block in front of us. Yeah, these kids are taking too long. And anyway, I'm walking to work for a lot of you guys that are wondering. Trying to kill two birds with one stone kind of deal. So, listen, guys, here's a problem with the whole YouTube-Pocalypse. Let's just set aside the whole vaccine and COVID deal. What about the whole two-way thing? There are Second Amendment channels that are getting canceled left and right because they talk about guns. Every time there's a mass shooting, some channel gets deleted or some two-way channel gets a strike. It's interesting that these people are controlling what we are seeing, and yet nobody wants to fucking give YouTube the medicine back to them. Every fucking YouTube channel is pretty much scared of losing their income. This is why, guys, I'm developing another source of income. I'm not going to say what it is yet, but as soon as I get it off the ground, I'll announce it. But the interesting thing is every YouTube channel on here needs another side hustle because YouTube is undoubtedly going to go after you as soon as they don't like what the fuck you put up. Right? So if you talk about something factual about COVID, they're going to take it down because, well, it goes against what the CDC and WHO says. And that's why they're actually taking the videos down, guys. They're taking the videos down because WHO, World Health Organization, is pressuring them to get more control over misinformation. The problem is, guys, is that they can deem anything misinformation. They can sit there and say, I thought I heard kids running down the hill. Sorry. I'm like super excited about watching them, like possibly bust their ass. But anyway, so guys, they could deem anything medical misinformation. You could talk about something and just say, well, you know what? I don't like the vaccine personally because, and give your opinion on the matter, and they're going to take that video down. So it's a bit of a bullshit move, if you will, that YouTube is doing because they're suppressing people's opinion. Now, a lot of it too, they want to take down conspiracy theories. I get conspiracy theories, but again, it's an opinion and it's an idea. It's not fact. It's why it's called conspiracy theories. Right, so why do they keep this up, right? Well, Prepper now, you're probably right. They are losing the info war. Right? They're sitting there going, oh shit, these people are gaining momentum. We can't get enough people to get the shot. So what are we going to do next? Oh, we'll start stifling the information. And so they start stifling the information, and then what? Right? People are going to go along with it. So Jane, you're right. Conspiracy theories are turning out to be true right now. Right? So being that they're trying to stifle the very shit that we are talking about or other people are talking about, that shows you what YouTube is trying to hide, right? The government has done this forever with newspapers, right? So those of you that are old enough and remember actual newspapers, back in the, what was it, 40s, they were stifling a lot of the information about certain things that came out. And whenever a reporter spoke on Area 51, the government came down hard on those reporters who even mentioned it. So now, Area 51 is real. We all know that, right? They even admitted to it. So how could anyone in this day and age believe the government, especially a president who sat... All right, how's that now? Hopefully that's a little better. Back, all right. Yeah, it's interesting how all of a sudden my shit starts shutting down. Though, to be fair, this block, I sort of always have this problem, but please repeat. Got it back. All right, good, thank you guys. So, you know what? I actually forgot what the fuck I was saying. Oh, sorry. Talking about newspapers and how the government went after reporters and how they're doing that now, guys. Except for they're doing it on YouTube, right? So anybody who's reporting anything that they don't like, and we're talking about big tech companies now, don't like, they're gonna fucking sit there and scratch your channel or scratch your video, right? Or demonetize your video. Which, listen, guys, I will take demonetization over getting deleted any given day of the week. I'd rather be demonetized and still get the message out than get my shit deleted. So I'm gonna have to mute you guys for, you know what? Maybe not. They're doing the COVID dance.
I know there's a lot of dancing out there. What's the difference between those?
All right, so the reason why I stopped talking, because just in case, guys, YouTube tags that song, they're gonna ask me to delete that clip out of the video because of the whole copyright bullshit. So that's why I didn't say anything, just in case.
It's the same GG, right?
Back. Yeah, it's just, you listen, the other thing is, maybe my phone it was acting up when I was trying to connect to YouTube earlier. Maybe it's my phone, maybe it's YouTube. Maybe YouTube went so far, they deleted their own bullshit. Who knows? But here's the other thing that I was saying before we got cut off. Oh, what about if they start attacking, people who stand against the mandate or talk against the mandate? Are they gonna start fucking telling us we can't have an opinion on that too? At some point, guys, we are gonna have to stand up to YouTube, and we're gonna have to stand up to this current administration. So someone named Tan-L says, I always report your videos to take you down, misinformation. Here's the problem, Tan-L. Because you're such an idiot, let me explain something to you. You will report the videos, and what happens next is that they review the videos, and then they look at it themselves and go, oh, nothing to be had here. So because you're such an idiot, do yourself a favor. Keep wasting your time, because you're an absolute blowjob. And listen, you know what, guys? Let him continue to do it. He's just gonna be the idiot fucking ice skating uphill, right? Because he fails to realize that when videos are reported, they have to do a human review. And when they do a human review, they look at it and they go, oh, nothing here. So Tan-L, keep going, dude. You keep rocking like the asshole you are, and I'll keep doing what I'm doing. There's a lot of you guys, and here's the other thing, Tanel. You're not the only asshole on YouTube who reports me. So you got to keep that in mind too. Keep in mind, there are you and there are probably, I don't know, let's say 1,000 of you assholes with itchy vaginas or sand in your vagina, sorry, that are going to report me because you don't like what I'm saying. And you say misinformation, but you don't have anything that I've said that was wrong or misinformation. But I can guarantee I'll blow you out of the waters or whatever I have. Keep going. It doesn't bother me one bit because I know how YouTube works. A lot of you people say, oh, I'm on the phone with... You are a premier YouTuber, and then they take a phone call for you. Actually, you get your own phone number to call YouTube. So, Mr. 10L, obviously you failed again. But listen, because you're such an idiot, keep doing it. Watch what happens. Nothing. I'll be here for quite some time, unless they start deeming what I'm saying next misinformation, which they could probably say anything is misinformation. I'm trying to see which way to go. Normally, I go down the other way. Yeah. You know what, guys? There's a lot of trolls on here who do dumb shit to a lot of YouTubers, man. They report fucking YouTubers all the time. Dude, they report YouTubers who, like, on photography channels. If they don't agree with what that YouTuber says, they report them. I'm like, what kind of bitch-ass shit is that, right? So, it's nothing new. Except for when they go out of their way to say shit like that, they just look like an asshole because they don't know how YouTube works. And they don't realize that I know or we know how YouTube works. But whatever. So, back to YouTube being, completely disrespectful assholes in the same breath, right? All right, hopefully I'm back. Relaxing music, yes. They're banning everybody, guys. They're trying to control what we say. Now, again, this is the point of me saying that we need our own social media and we need something like Rumble, but on our own. Because, guys, even Rumble and BitChute, they're going to be corrupted by YouTube eventually, or Google, that is. Google is going to muscle those guys. Google's going to muscle those guys into doing what they want them to do. So we have to remember that BitChute and Rumble is only going to be for a little while. We need to come up with something that's completely on our own and run by us on servers or whatever it is. I know somebody's saying Gab. I'm not a big fan of Gab. I have an account on there, but I don't do anything with it because I don't like the way it's set up. I hate to say it, maybe because Facebook spoiled me, or just maybe I don't like the interface, right? The interface is very important. You got to make it easy. Like MeWe, right? I don't like that either. I'm on there too. It sucks. It's the way it handles is just very shitty. Right, and I'm on Odyssey as well, but again, I haven't posted on Odyssey in a while, but apparently, whatever. I guess the videos update from YouTube. And yes, guys, do me a favor. So for those of you who live in the city, I mean, it's just not for you guys that are in the city, but if you live in the city, I've been starting to put the New York City Preppers Network meetings on Facebook. On YouTube. So whatever meetings we have that people can't make, even though it's fucking Zoom, and for some reason people still can't make it, you can catch up with those meetings online now. So I'm starting to put those online. It's probably going to be once a month, maybe twice a month. But that's for the NYC Preppers Network meeting group. Rossman, yeah, winter's gonna be a son of a bitch. I think winter's gonna be pretty fucking bad with all of it, with everything. I think next year it's all gonna come to a head, but we shall see. Now, my name, you're right about the smartphones. The tracking capability on these phones right now are just, not even just, they are invading your privacy. So they are absolutely all over your shit and tracking your every fucking moves now. So I'm like probably 2 steps away from getting rid of my phone because I don't like the way it tracks. Yes, it's super convenient, but I'd rather give it that super conveniency and keep my privacy because I don't like the way this is going with the whole phone issue. Now, talking about, we're going to switch gears a little bit. We're going to talk about the whole New York State governor. What's her name? Hochul? Is it Kathy Hochul? I think it is. Right? That asshole who I told people was going to be worse than Cuomo, and she absolutely is. She made a declaration clearing people from other countries, that is, to operate here in New York State to fill in the gaps of those doctors and nurses that were fired because of the mandate. So this bitch is sitting here breaking laws to fucking cope with a problem that she inflicted on herself, or the state rather, where if they could have got rid of the mandate and kept those doctors and nurses and just tested them, well, that's out the window now. So now they'd rather hire foreign nationals to be doctors, nurses here, than just keep their own. They're willing to sacrifice people's paychecks and livelihood for a mandate, which goes way further than the mandate. They are absolutely starting to crush people's livelihood for something that has a 99% survival rate. That I don't understand, right? They are crushing people's livelihood just because the powers that be are being stubborn. Now, here's my concern with the foreigners. They want to operate here as doctors and nurses. There's one side of me that seems to think we're going to get an influx of nurses and doctors that are from China. Now, this is just a thought. This is not facts. This is not proven. This is an opinion, and it's my thought. Because other states are doing the same thing. So if you start thinking about it, guys, if you start thinking about, what's her name? Leanne Wen, right? Wasn't she a Chinese nationalist that came here and was seeking asylum from China to live here? And they got this bitch on TV talking about keeping us fucking in the home and everyone get the shot and everyone needs to, play along. She sounds like her Chinese government. So there is absolutely, guys, a fucking problem with that. And it's just a thought that, well, maybe she's going to get in the ear of some of these governors and start asking them to hire Chinese doctors and nurses from abroad and bring them here. And other states that are going through the same thing, North Carolina, California, Maine's next. These people are already, guys, the power that be are putting patients at risk for a mandate. Right? So keep that. Yeah, R. Jones. Someone said she was here as a small child, but she also has what is that called? Citizenship in China as well. And she worked predominantly in China. She did go to school here, if I'm not mistaken, but she worked predominantly in China, and she was looking to come here permanently. Which, you're right. If she was here as a child, she should have had. She said I had a green card or whatever a while ago, but maybe she didn't. But whatever the case is, guys, she's not from here. She's not born here. And she's repeating the same rhetoric like in her country. So, again, right, dual citizenship, but she wasn't born here, so she wouldn't get that. I don't think. And I don't know if she's an actual citizen here, but I know that she was looking for asylum here. Whoa. Open house, thank you for the donation. Yes, open house Texas, I agree with that. Right, that it's not about just the virus, it's about transforming America. And you know what? It's probably more about bringing all the world power countries together under one thought process. So if you invade this country, you invade the UK, which they've been doing. How's that now? Jesus Christ, man. It's like all day today. You know, I mean, not all day, just for the last like 22 minutes. You know, the buffering, and then I actually got a phone call and I declined it and the screen went black. I'm like, what the hell? And I know people are like, not a fucking again. I know. Listen, it happens again, I'm just going to end the stream, and then I'll do the live stream Thursday night, you know, connected to the internet to see if there's going to be a problem there. Thank you, guys. 5x5, all right. So, guys, right, preparation for the New World Order. Thank you. Right? Who just said that? Eden. Thank you. This is all it is, guys. It's preparation for the New World Order. Because you can't tell me that all of these coincidences are not adding up. And if you don't think they're adding up, then you're just as naive. Then they're also not threatening, but they're also constantly telling us now there's a geostorm headed this way. Almost every week now, every month we got an asteroid that's flying by us. Guys, they're trying every scare tactic in the world to fucking get us going. And yet, if the world was going to end, they'd keep that a secret from us, right? That's the irony about the whole fear thing. There's only so much fear they can give us, because too much and society will break down, but just enough and you can control it. Yeah, Joey, I heard about that geo storm October 1st. Supposedly, they said we could see it as far as New York State, but they didn't say how far down the state. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the skies look like October 1st. Yeah, listen, guys, if a rock falls out of the sky, there's not much we can do about it, right? I mean, obviously a lot of us are going to be, you know, sad, pissed off, you know, carrying on, maybe crying. Some of us may even commit suicide, but there's not much you can do about that, you know? And at this point, wiping the slate clean might be what's needed. Or we don't take the easy way out, we fight. No, I have not seen National Guards in hospitals, but I also haven't been to a hospital. But I haven't seen, like, St. Luke's Hospital is the closest, and so is Harlem. I haven't seen anything there. So, though, listen, guys, most of the nurses and doctors were vaccinated. So, I mean, yeah, 95,000 healthcare workers being fired is still a lot, with most of those healthcare workers being here downstate, or here in the city. Most of those workers are not vaccinated. So I mean, listen, if there is a problem, you know what, unless you go to the hospital, you're probably not going to know about it. Maybe the reporters will report it, but I don't know yet. And a lot of you have heard already, right? Which I'll probably talk more tomorrow night. Biden is but doubling down on his mandate for businesses with more than 100 employees by telling them that if they don't follow the rules, OSHA will step in and start hitting them with $7,000 fines. So imagine having 101 employees, 102, right? And now you gotta get your employees tested. And half your crew comes down with COVID. Now you're out of work. Now you're out of business. Now, let me tell you something about one of the mandates here in New York City are damaging the businesses here in the city, right? And one of the places that we eat at, called Dinosaur Barbecue on 12th Ave and 125th Street, they had to shut down for 2 days and open up late. Right, guys, so if they had to open up late because they don't have the employees to sustain the restaurant. So not only they close down Mondays and Tuesdays, now they open at 4 instead of 11. So tell me again how these mandates are working when businesses are losing money. That place, Dinosaur BBQ, makes money. The construction workers up the block from them, they go there for lunch and they give them money, right? They opening it up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon damages their pocket big time. But why? Because they don't have workers. Why don't they have workers? Because a lot of their workers refuse to get vaccinated. So, a lot of people, guys, are standing their ground against the mandate, which is, again, good. But it's also affecting people's livelihoods. So, right? Where do you go with that? Yeah, I would like a horse too. A horse would be pretty cool, but not in the city. I mean, definitely not here. Not with the concrete and shit. You know, constantly hitting their joints and fucking their joints up here. It's not ideal for horses to be here in the city. I agree, strikes and protests won't work. But at some point, guys, we, the people, we're going to have to drop the hammer. Well, when are we going to do this? Right? So if somebody does it on their own, they're going to look like a psychopath. Right? If a small group does it on their own, they're going to look like a bunch of fucking racists. But if a large enough group does this together, then the country's going to have to pay attention. But that's what we need. We need a large group of people to get together and help out with what needs to happen next. Yes, we need more organization. Thank you for that. We absolutely do. The problem with the organization, guys, is that we have too many fucking groups that want to do this shit on their own, right? So, for example, there are anti-mandate groups here in the city. They're against the mandates, right? And with all of the shit going on with these mandates, right, businesses are being lost. People are losing money. Businesses are probably going to have to close by the end of October if nothing changes. And you have these groups here against the mandates. So these groups are here, and they're fighting with each other, actively fighting with each other, all right? It's why I was gonna, join one and then the other, and I'm like, fuck them. Because if they can't get together on something as serious as this, then something is wrong. And the problem is, guys, we seem to get in our own way. Liberals can get together and make shit happen, right? Liberals can get together and fucking show their disdain for whatever they're showing their disdain for. But we, who are so-called patriots, we can't do that. There's something wrong. There's something wrong if we can't act better than fucking moronic liberals and get together and put our bullshit to the side and fucking help do what needs to be done. Right, guys, so I agree, right? We need leaders, but how? Right? How could we get leaders when, again, people can't even fucking come together and agree, all right, we all are against the vaccine mandates, or we're all against these new Second Amendment rules, restrictions. We can't come together on that shit, then we are lost as a nation. Big time. So, I don't know, guys. It's always with us so-called patriots. There's always a fucking issue. Excuse me, guys. Give me 2 seconds. Stupid fucking watch. I got this Apple Watch thinking it was a good idea. Now with all the tracking capabilities, I'm about to dump this watch and just get a regular old watch. Because I don't think I need all the bullshit on it. Well, slummy, right? It's easy to say, you know, get a backbone, do this, do that. But we have to do more than that. You know what I mean? Like, we need more than a backbone, man. We need someone to set some shit off, you know? Or we all set some shit off. Again, the mandate groups mandate groups don't seem to want to get along. And if something as small as that can't get along, what makes you think militias and shit are going to want to, you know, team up with each other? Listen, for Christ's sakes, during the whole Bundy incident, where was that? Out west somewhere, where all the Patriot groups got together. Right, where all the Patriot groups got together. What was the name of that group? Was it Oregon? I think it was Oregon. Right, it was somebody's farm or somebody's land, right? The Bureau of Land Administration, right. But I forgot the name of that family. It was a family though. And people went out there to so-called protect them. And there were so many militia groups out there. They weren't getting along. Oath Keeper got out there and some shit went down with them and another group. And like one of the leaders in that group, I guess he sort of played the guy in Oath Keeper. Was like, I heard bits in the Bundy branch. Thank you guys. Bundy Ranch or Bundy Ranch? Whatever. You guys know what I mean. And so with that, guys, I find it interesting that those groups who are so-called patriots couldn't get together. Bundy, all right. No, not Ruby Ridge. That's way too far back. So, Ranch. So, listen, guys, they couldn't get together for that, for a family. They sat there and everybody showed up, but everybody was in their own little circle, in their own little group, fucking, starting their own little bullshit. Nobody was there collectively to get together and get some shit started. Listen, they showed up. That was a good thing. They all showed up. But then they started a little bit of infighting. So then what? Rip Curl said the whole thing was messed up. Yeah, it was. It was fucking a shit show. And I spoke to two guys who went out there, and they said it was a straight shit show. Everybody wanted to be a leader. Nobody wanted to fucking follow. And that's the problem. You got to sacrifice your ego. This kid's riding on a rim. Holy shit. He's riding a city bike on a rim. So the tire was on his handlebar, and he was riding down a block on a rim. That was insane. Shit you see in New York City. But anyway, guys, it's just insane how we can't get together. We're always fucking fighting. We're always fucking arguing with one another, and yet the liberals can fucking put it away. They could put their differences away long enough to fucking march in the street and destroy a city. But we can't fucking get it together just to come together and meet and plan some shit. Well, Tara, they absolutely won Venezuela here. I agree with that. I was hoping I caught the kid with the riding the rim. That was pretty interesting. $300 Warrior. Yeah, listen, I think we can all agree and all think alike that this is, we listen. If there was a fucking leader that popped up and was like, yo, this is what I plan, this is what we should do, then we should all follow this one guy who has the plan, who grew the balls to step up first. But when we don't have that, and then we have everybody else talking about, well, this is what I would do, that was what I would do, then come to the table and meet. Unfortunately, guys, you need a leader. You need one guy to fucking set it off. You need one guy to be the face of that group. Whether it's 8 groups that join the one, always one face. That whole conglomerate shit don't work. Works in the business world. It don't work when it comes to fucking leading guys in the battle, if you will. Well, guys, like I said, we have to come together and support one another. But I just don't know how. Everybody's relying on Trump, and Trump is not a leader. Trump is part of the machine. Sorry, guys. All of these politicians are part of the machine, and the machine needs to be broken. So we can't use somebody like them, like Trump, if you will. Listen, guys, Trump isn't the answer. He really isn't, because here's the problem. He's running into, even if Trump was to come back, let's say, hypothetically speaking, he comes back. How much opposition is he going to get from governors and mayors across the country? How much mandates you think he could drop down on the country? These fucking mandates are going to tell him to go fuck himself. So again, how is that going to work, right? So it can't be Trump. It has to be the people. The people are the answer, guys. We need to lead this country, not the politicians, not fucking Trump. Us, right? The people who are close to the ground in the middle of this shit, dealing with this shit. Trump isn't dealing with this shit, right? DeSantis isn't dealing with this shit. As a governor, he is, but not as a people, right? He's not here in New York, where he's not allowed to go to a fucking restaurant. Like I said, guys, a lot of people think Trump's the answer or DeSantis is the answer. They're not. They're not even fucking close to the answer. We are the answer, right? Hence, we the people. Not we the politicians, not we the millionaires, we the people. We're the people responsible for this country. We're the people that need to get this country back. The Constitution was written by people. Yes, there were politicians involved as well, but they had, back then, the better interest of the people. Now, there is no interest of the people. It's all about them. It's a me show and it's a shit show at the same time. Well, Randy, it's not about getting the Democrats out of the White House. It's getting all of them out of the White House. Apparently, none of it is working, right? Republicans aren't fucking doing what they're supposed to do for the people anymore because the Republican Party is super quiet. Democrats are fucking wrecking cities as we speak, and no one's actually speaking out against it. Though, I'm a little surprised about Eric Adams here in the city. Eric Adams has been making some interesting moves that sort of don't line up with what de Blasio did to the city. So I'm a little interested to see what he's going to do, right? But again, the city, guys, the country, states have to be run by the people, not career politicians. Career politicians are supposed to listen to us. They don't listen to us. They listen to their own bullshit. They probably listen to themselves on record because that's how fucking cynical they are. Oh boy. This hill is not as bad as the other hill I used to go up. I'm only going up this hill today because I might be meeting somebody at the top of it. Right, loose, right? Politicians are full of shit. We all know that. And here's the other thing, guys. How are so many of us, right? How much so many of us are saying, oh, politicians are assholes. Politicians are this, right? And yet we turn around and go, but Trump's the answer. You fucking kidding me? Like, really? You know? And here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing about politicians. Politicians were once people. Some of these politicians had the better interest of the American public. But then they lost their way at some point. They were misguided. They ran into some bullshit. Who knows? But they didn't do what they said they were going to do, right? And so with that, they were lost. They turned into something else. They weren't us anymore. They became unrecognizable. This is the problem with politicians, right? And so what do we do, right? I don't know, man. The answer is we absolutely have to fucking be our own nation and take the power out of the politicians' hands. And once you take the power out of the politicians' hands, politicians have to work for us. Politicians, guys, they work for the big corporate companies. We all seen what fucking Trump did with his administration cabinet. We all saw what Biden's done with his administration cabinet. So obviously, these guys are hiring their friends. I'm not hiring my friends, right? If I was to become president, I wouldn't be hiring my fucking friends. I'd be hiring guys that could do the fucking job, right? I wouldn't be hiring people I know, you know? But I know a lot of people don't like Trump, and there's Trump 2024 is on here. And listen, if Trump left in good standing, guys, that'd be fucking one thing. But he didn't. Fucking Trump left with the Democrats browbeating him, and he can never come back. Though, I have to admit, I've spoken to a couple people who sat there and told me. Though I've run into people who have told me they made a mistake in voting for him.
Hey.
What's going on?
I just thought I'd say hi. Saw that you were like on your way. I'm like, oh, finally. You know, I'm like.
Well, yeah. Normally I walk the other way. When you said that you want to meet up here real quick, I'm like, hey.
Yeah.
So how's it going?
Good. Just a nice day today, nice and cool.
Probably one of the last. It's going to start getting cold soon.
It's supposed to rain like sometime this week.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I don't know how much rain, but you know, whatever. New York, it rains. So, but yeah, that whole YouTube thing.
It's insane.
I mean, because then like realistically, there are a lot of people who think that they're pro-vaccine, but they're giving out a lot of misinformation.
That's the thing. Everyone is right. Everyone is. You know, you got people talking about like microchips and shit. You got people talking about alien blood. I'm like, I'm hearing so much on both sides. It's fucking insane.
Yeah, well, like, I mean, I don't know. All I can say is stay out of my bloodstream, you know?
Yeah. Well,
But-
keep it pure. But
Yeah,
anyways,
yeah.
people are asking to see you.
Okay.
All right. Hold on. Oh. All right.
Hi.
So that's
Tia.
one of my friends, Tina, from the NYC Preppers group. So obviously she lives in the area, and she watches me walk to work, and she's like, "Oh, you're passing by, so let me say hi." So here she is saying hi. And they're all saying hi. So
Yeah. But what time's your shifts?
it's normally at 6, but I get there early. You're supposed to get there early.
Firefighters always get to your shift early.
Yeah.
Why?
It's a fun job. It's not a 9 to 5 where
Well,
you
that's
fucking hate
true.
your boss and you want to kill him. You know.
That's true. So where's your firehouse shopping for stuff?
Supermarket. We're still going to the
No,
supermarket.
which ones? Which
Oh.
supermarkets? Because like Fairway on 125th is closed. So.
Oh, those guys, they're fucked. They're screwed. We shop over here at the Food Bazaar, 161.
This one?
Yeah.
The one over there is better.
Yeah, but that's too far for us.
Oh,
All
okay.
right. That's too
Right.
far for us.
Yeah, no. They have like grass-fed or pasture-raised meat, like pasture-raised ground beef.
Oh,
This one doesn't.
they have that there, but it's not all the time. And when they
Oh.
do, it's fucking super priced out. So
Yeah. All right.
We'll get
Well,
lots of
anyway.
don't
Huh?
get lots in the city. All right, well, let me get going.
Okay.
Well, it was nice seeing you.
All right. I'll see you later.
Listen, you got to shoot me ideas for the next couple of meetings.
Oh, you know what? Okay, so I spoke with my ham radio people because I'm
Right.
part of like a amateur radio club,
Right.
and they said that NYC does not have a civil air defense network. So we don't have air raid sirens. They got rid of it. Like they used to have it during the 50s and 60s.
Right.
In fact, they used to have like some like control center underneath Grand Central,
Right.
but they disbanded it, I think, during like the 80s or something, and they contacted all the amateur radio people and sold off all the parts from that place. But they're basically relying on like phones and TV,
Right.
and
Which can be controlled by whoever wants to control it.
right. But otherwise, so at 4 in the morning, unless you guys have
I know. This is all the time now. All the time.
Well, I know. I get the alerts on Citizen, but for the most part, I would say, in terms of like civil air defense,
Right.
just have friends who are in different time zones who are going to be willing to give you a call, or wake you up when this stuff happens. Whether it's like they have a
That's a good idea, actually.
landline or they have a secret phone number, or you turn off your phone except for maybe Skype, and then
Right.
Skype notifies you or something. But have your friends in different time zones, just get in touch with you guys.
That's actually a good idea.
Because, we're messed up. Hawaii has civil air defense, which is how I found out about an oncoming tsunami
Right.
at 6 a.m. because my parents didn't call me up about it. But yeah, that's how I found out. San Francisco used to have regular civil air defense drills.
Right.
Well, we went up to Harriman.
Right.
Remember, we had that. We were
Siren,
doing those
right.
sirens.
Siren went off, and a couple people like, "What's that?" I'm like, "It's the fucking military base."
Yeah, but here we
Right.
are, like one of the top targets in the United States, and we don't have a civil air defense.
Right. And we were attacked by the air, actually, right?
Yeah.
Right,
Well, I
9/11.
was in Boston, so I couldn't
Okay.
I couldn't tell anybody about what happened. I just kind of assumed that air raid sirens went off or something, but
No, none of that shit happened.
yeah, I wasn't.
There are air raid sirens in Jersey. I think it's Fort Lee,
Okay.
because we hear them all the time. Right,
Oh.
so like when we hear them, we're like,
Oh, when
"What's
you're
going
at
on?"
home.
Yes, when
Okay.
you can't hear them over here. But
Yeah.
when you're at home, we can hear them. You're like, and they go off they go off enough now. I think they test them like every 6 months. So when they go off, we're like, "Oh, they're testing them." But the problem is, we wouldn't know what the fuck's happening over there, even if we heard it.
What about the ones in Williamsburg and Bed-Stuy for Shabbat? Would they use those for air raid sirens if they needed to?
For them, not
Yeah.
for us.
I know, but then
Right.
at least people in Williamsburg would hear it.
Williamsburg has hipsters, and I can care less about them. They are really super annoying. But listen, let me get out of
All
here.
right,
okay?
all right. I'll see you later.
See you later. All right, guys, so you heard her idea, right? Her idea was that people in different time zones can give you a heads up as to what is going on in different parts of the world and give you a call or text. I think that's a good idea, because here in New York, like she said, we don't have an air raid system. We don't have any kind of siren system except our phones, right? When your phone goes off and lets you know there's a heat wave coming or there's a flash flood coming, that's all we have. Yeah, CB radios are good, but again, I'm not a radio guy, so I've been told that CB radios are not that great, because not a lot of people are using them anymore. But I don't know. Ham radios, I know, are great, but a lot of us can't afford ham radios because we don't have room for it. At least I don't have room for it. I would love one. Maybe I can get a small one. I don't know. Yes, big one of that's, yeah, stay out of the city. We get it. Fuck the city. Don't, I get it, guys.
Hi, Karen.
Well, coming upstate to move or coming upstate to camp? Because in a couple weeks, I'll be upstate camping. And by the way, guys, Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival is looking to do a yard sale, like a giant yard sale upstate New York. He's going to announce it when he's ready. And when he announces the final date and what's going down, I'll announce it as well. So people can, get together and trade, because we're going to use that as a bartering, one giant bartering lesson, if you will. Yes. Andrew Jackson, I will definitely look into that. Well, I tend to pay attention where most people are from. I tend to pay attention where most people are from, but, Troy Ounce, nothing's going on, just the same old bullshit. YouTube deleting videos, presidents giving out fines like people could fucking afford it. Nothing new. It's the same old shit. It's fucking, dictatorship at its best and communism coming at a slow burn. You know how it goes. So for those of you wondering, this block here, this is a courts, right? So this is the court here, and this is the old court building over here. I know I'm standing too close to it, but this is an old school court building. This is the new one they built. They wasted all that money building that when they could have just fixed this, because they were going to rip this building down over here, but instead they kept it up. So now they have two buildings. I know that the courts in this building here are a lot older. They're probably from like 25, but these buildings here, the newer ones, they wanted to upgrade some of the technology in it, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So they built a whole new building for it. So, correction officers, as a lot of you might know or might not know, correction officers have been getting their asses handed to them in prison. And the mayor, New York City, de Blasio, was worried about the prisoners dying and not the correction officers getting their asses handed to them on a daily basis. Sat phones are an option, but if I'm not mistaken, sat phones payment plans, they're super expensive, especially if you're only going to use it here and there. I know a buddy of mine who pays $60 or $65 for the whole month just to use it that 1 month. So he goes hunting out in the Adirondacks. He uses a sat phone, and he pays the $65, but that's a lot for just a couple of days, right? So I mean, if you're going to be talking to somebody in fucking Guam or some shit, then it might pay off. But other than that, I don't think it's practical. As far as pay goes, as far as use, it might be. But if we get hit with a solar storm, which they've been constantly trying to scare us with, they've been scaring us with a solar storm like every week now, guys. It's every week. They're like, oh, well, there could be a solar storm, and you guys have to be prepared for it. And then next week, they're like, oh, there's a G2 on its way. Could be a G3. By the time it reaches us, I'm like, I didn't know they worked that way. I didn't know they started out power, at a 2 and then worked its way up to a 3. Like, I've never even heard of such a thing like that. But whatever. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a, sun-watching scientist dude. So what do I know? I find it interesting that a lot of people on here are Bible thumpers, and they still watch my videos, even with my cursing. I find that very interesting. Well, that was the thing, right? No one really cared about solar storms before. And, scientists did. They always, listen, scientists are like the biggest nerd in the world. Those guys are like, oh my God, there's a solar storm coming. Okay, dick face, we know. Then what, right? If it's not a fucking 4 or 5, why are we even worried about it? But they, again, part of the scare tactics, seeing what they can control and what they can't. RCX. So let me explain to you something about YouTube. YouTube, yes, in theory, at glance, it looks like they're hurting themselves. Hold on, guys, I gotta fix something. My strap on my bag is fucking killing me. So, look at this nice tree right here. So, initially, guys, you would think that YouTube's hurting themselves by getting rid of all those channels. But YouTube has made a deal with the devil, because they are willing to lose a few $1 million. And I'm probably talking probably a few $100 million if they delete the channels they're going to delete or videos they're going to delete. They're willing to lose that. That's how fucking controlling they want to be. Because listen, guys, there are more videos of fucking cats and hipsters breakdancing than there are prepper channels, two-way channels, and people who stand against the vaccine. There are way more channels, all right, of those. There are people who would rather watch cats and babies than listen to real shit. And because YouTube recognizes that, YouTube recognizes that bullshit, guess what they do? They're willing they were willing to sacrifice that. So, right, YouTube-Pocalypse, for that, whoever was that to just ask, YouTube-Pocalypse, basically, guys, is, hold on. Let's see if I can get this right. Nah, I can't. Forget it. So anyway, YouTube-Pocalypse, guys, is an event that I just called it that, right? It's an event where they're going to start purging a lot of videos that talked about the vaccine or against the vaccine or against, I don't know if they're going to start hammering people for mandates, because that's basically what I talk about on this channel. So if they start hammering out if they start hammering out the mandates, well then, start hammering out channels that talk against the mandate, well then I'm fucked, right? This channel is going to cease to exist. But listen, here's the thing, guys. There are a few 100 million videos that they're going to have to look through for the next couple of months. So a lot of us channels are going to be, we're not going to be on edge because I already have a backup plan. I'm going to start another channel. They shut this channel down, I will start another channel, right? That's just as simple as that. Getting my side gigs off the ground, so even if they delete this channel, I still have that to fall back on. So I have money to fall back on, so I'm not worried about it. It would suck, right? It would suck if they delete the channel, but then I can upload a lot of my videos again, right? And whatever videos they deem they didn't like, well, those are the videos that I don't put up again, or I put them up in a new way. Yeah, Slummy, just right. That's it. Just start a new channel. Fuck it. I mean, what did they listen? There's so many channels out there for them to sit there and try to hammer out. Again, I talked mainly about the mandate, so it's fine. And yes, I talked about my displeasure of the vaccine, which I will always talk about. So if they start hammering people for their opinion about the vaccine, that's a problem, right? Because it seems like the new rule that they came down with, you can't even talk against it, which is pretty bad. Because if you sit there and go, well, I'm not taking the vaccine because, and then you give whatever mumbo jumbo answer, and they don't like it, well, then you're fucked. We're gonna go a new way today. Rip Curl, yes, YouTube announced something earlier today saying that they were going to get rid of more misinformation videos on COVID and the vaccine and any vaccine. So if you talk against the polio vaccine, if you talk against the MMR vaccine, they'll take your video down. So even if you have proof, which a lot of those videos who do talk against these vaccines have proof, even if you have proof, they're going to take you down anyway because the World Health Organization deemed it so. So, yeah. So, there's always the kids that ask me, yo, man, you blogging? I guess so. I don't know what the fuck you call it. Vlogging, blogging, live streaming, whatever the fuck it is. I can't keep up with these terms. Right, guys, so whatever comes next, YouTube is looking to infringe on everybody's thought process. You better think like them or you're out, right? You better speak nicely about the vaccine because you can only, that's the definition of propaganda, guys. When somebody says, listen, man, take this. It's great for you. It's going to make you feel better. It's going to protect you. But then you turn around and you go, it's not going to protect me. I don't want to take it because I don't trust it. They're going to delete your channel for that? That's fucking crazy, right? It was one thing to sit there and delete channels and stuff for medical misinformation, which when they deleted my channel, when they deleted my video on here, right? Did they delete it? They gave it a strike. The one where I was talking about the propaganda in the city, right? They deleted it, sorry, right? When the one I was talking about the propaganda in the city, they deleted the video, right? And that was a warning. So they delete a video for talking about the propaganda because that's what propaganda is, guys. It's one-sided bullshit. When you start fucking talking about the other side of that and they go, no, you're not allowed to talk about that, then that's propaganda. That's the very definition of it, right? Lindsay, thank you for the donation. So here's the other kick in the dick to the liberals. I find this very interesting. I only brought it up because listening to these guys talk passing by. BLM, guys, is joining in on the fight against the mandates. Now, a lot of us hate BLM. A lot of us can give a fuck if BLM was rolled up in the carpet and set on fire. But nonetheless, they are joining in on a fight that we are all against mandates. So is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Someone's going to say paid opposition. They're not paid opposition. There's no way. They would pay them to not do that. And instead, they're doing the opposite, right? When you have a force like BLM, who, listen, we all know are full of shit. But now, are they full of shit in this case? And are we willing to stand with our enemies on a common ground of something that we all need to stand against, right? This is the very thing I never thought would happen, that I would actually fucking side with BLM on this one. Because these guys are actually getting together. They're in the streets mixing it up. They're fucking yelling and screaming at restaurants. Now, they were harassing restaurants before, right, and harassing people at them. But now they're harassing restaurants who have the mandates, which is all of them. So now what do? Do we disagree with them just because they're BLM, or do we actually fucking... And listen, it's not about trusting them. Because, again, the amount of people they had in that crowd that were protesting the mandate was insane. And not all of them were government, agents, right? Or paid opposition. Right, Joey Jennings, that's my point. Do we stand with our enemies for the common good, right? And listen, the answer, I don't know. Because yes, a couple of you said you don't trust BLM. I don't quite trust them either, right? But in this case, if they are moving or they're getting ideologies to switch because they have such a large following, how come we don't team up with them and get that started? Guys, because believe it or not, BLM is not going to matter, right? Fucking white racist dudes, it's not going to matter. They might all jump on the bandwagon to fight what's coming, because we're going to have to. We are unfortunately going to have to team up with our enemies at some point, guys, because this is where we're headed. See, again, Monique, thank you for saying that, because this is why we as people will never get anything done. Because if we keep going down this road of don't trust them, don't trust that, don't trust this group, don't trust that group, how are we ever going to get anything done? Well, listen, I wouldn't call the mandates racist, but I definitely call them out of fucking line. That's for sure. Because these mandates are hitting everybody the same. This mandate doesn't give a fuck if you're black, white, Chinese. If you don't have the shot, they don't want anything to do with you. So it is creating a class of people, that's for sure. But I definitely wouldn't call it racist. Though the majority of people not getting vaccinated in New York City happen to be black folks. So they always put a commercial on with some fucking idiot moron trying to get us to, take it. Yes, Luz, it's definitely discrimination. That's for fucking sure. No one's gonna argue that, right? Racist, I wouldn't call it, but I definitely call it discrimination. And here's a kick in the ass, right? So all of this taking the vaccine and stopping the vaccination, one of the Carnival Cruise Lines just came back from one of their stupid Carnival cruise trips in the ocean, and there were 27 cases on board of COVID. Now, Carnival Cruise is a vaccinated-only cruise, right? So if it's a vaccinated-only cruise, and yet 27 people on a boat caught COVID, and there's going to be more, well then, weren't we right? I don't know. Yes, Kim's Farm Life. I heard that's what I was talking about, right? They're no longer allowing anti-vax content, which is, listen, anybody saw Eddie Griffin's video where he stands with it? And he's talking about where he stands with it. But now they're talking about anti-vax content, or they're talking about opinion, or they're talking about people, ramping it up. I think they're talking about both. They're talking about people fucking conspiracy theorists, and they're talking about us people who are having our own opinion on the matter. No kidding, Gary. That's interesting. So Gary said all workers have to be vaccinated by November 15th. Interesting. I thought they were exempt, but I guess not. But again, guys, all I'm going to say is 99% survival rate. And I'm pretty sure if you say that, you can get your channel kicked or your video demonetized, right? Well, listen, guys, again, a lot of people, using the term, anti-vax, it's a bullshit term, right? It's too many people sitting there starting that lingo, that language, to make us look bad. Well, that's why somebody here on the live stream the other night said, hey, how about we just call ourselves purebloods? And I'm like, I'm digging that, right? Because now we don't sound so negative, and now we sound, it was Brian, thank you, Brian. Right, I'm pretty sure it was Brian that said purebloods. It's just a better fucking name to call us than anti-vax. We sound a little better in light. KT, right, so 99.8, 99.9, whatever it is, it's still, you have a 99% survival. And it's, listen, I don't want to get into the whole numbers game, but they're playing a numbers game, and people have to recognize that, all right? And it's actually 99.99 something percent. But when you look at the way they're stacking the numbers, obviously it's going to drop. But it doesn't work that way. It's a year to year, right? Any disease we had on this planet, like let's say cancer, heart disease, it's year to year. But they're going to make this look like it is destroying more of the world than it actually is. Okay? So, with that being said, guys, yes, more people are dying from this, but no. It's not as bad as it looks. Fuck it. Ah, shit. I'm gonna go through here. And when the music gets louder, I'm gonna not say anything. Just in case this song gets tagged. Because interestingly enough, not all songs get tagged on YouTube. So if it's a hit, like a Katy Perry song, it gets tagged. But if this is not Now, Jules, I just spoke to a postal lady and asked her why the post office was exempt. She says, we don't know. They're not telling them why. They just said they're exempt. So that's interesting. They didn't even tell postal employees why. It's a metal factory next to us. And I like this. They got a giant American flag on their wall here. It's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Thank you, man. So, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up now. I'm to work, as you can see. Firehouse here. Listen, guys, thank you for joining me. If this video happens to get deleted for whatever reason, I'm gonna record it now, save it, and put it on Rumble or BitChute if BitChute starts breaking my balls. And see you guys tomorrow night. So not tonight, tomorrow night, because I am working tonight. All right, guys? Thank you for joining me.